You are still watching Breakfast Central. It's a Wednesday, 28th day of July, 2021. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, including the one you might not be really allowed to if you're in Nigeria. Right, let's talk about COVID-19 updates. The cases continue to rise and spike, and also in terms of the variants, we've had the South African variant, we've had the Indian variant, and now there is a Delta variant. Good thing that we've not had the Nigerian variant yet.
I mean, I'm just looking at you, Lisa. You literally said South African variant, Indian variant, and it makes it's not a funny situation. Kenyan variant. I mean, it's a serious situation, and the big question a lot of Nigerians are asking, and even Africans, is at what stage are we going to stop importing and start making our own vaccines in Africa? I mean, other African countries have already started, but is Nigeria ready to take that course? Are we ready to stop the import? Because importation is costing us millions of dollars. I mean, can we keep at it? Because I'm looking at the long run. I mean, if this is going to be a sickness or a disease or a virus that is here to stay, is here for keeps, that means we need to keep doing continuous research on how to fight it. Do we have research institutes? Do we have the manpower? Do we have the technocrats who can handle that?
Well, it all goes back to vaccination technology and vaccination processes. Right, let's look at vaccination and also the COVID-19 updates across the continent of Africa. Well, one man who clearly keeps an eye on all of this is our correspondent, Israel Eforoba. Israel, good morning to you. What's the latest with the African numbers, particularly this Delta variant?
Good morning, Lisa and Oluchi. Well, so much is happening on the African continent as regards how we can go ahead and contain this pandemic. Let's tell you what's happening in Kenya, where the Kenya's Ministry of Health say it has launched a strategic plan to help prevent and control non-communicable diseases, NCDs, which are linked to a higher toll of COVID-19 fatalities. And the Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Mercy Wanganji, said that the current prevalence of lifestyle diseases is worrying since NCD diseases kill 46% every year in the country. Let's go straight down to another country and tell you what they are doing this time in South Africa, where the legislative capital, Cape Town, has continued to see an increase in burials week on week due to the third wave of the pandemic. In the last 7-day reporting period, a total of 638 burials were completed at Cape Town cemeteries, up from 488 the week before. Official figures show that the number was over 300 towards the end of June. Now, Cape Town's mayoral committee member for the community services and health, Zahid Bachuran, said what they are experiencing now is similar to the previous 2 waves of the COVID-19 infections, when fatalities increased sharply. The city also urged funeral organizers to consider weekday burials to help alleviate the pressure on cemeteries and alternatives to burials if religious beliefs can allow such people. Now, in Zambia, the premier agricultural and commercial show has for the second time been postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 94th Agricultural and Commercial Show, which was slated to start at the end of July into the first week of August each year, will not be held this year. And you know why? Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which had affected the hosting of the event last year. Now, the president of the Agricultural and Commercial Society of Zambia, Cosmas Mashelo, said the decision has been made after extensive consultations with various stakeholders, including health officials. Let's now bring you what the figures are like this morning. According to the Africa Center for Disease Control, the region has reached over 6.5 million cases with over 166,000 deaths. Over 5.7 million people have recovered, as over 58.2 million tests have been conducted. And I know, Lisa, you want to know how we are handling the pandemic here in Lagos, Nigeria. But indeed, in the last 24 hours, there were 10 deaths recorded due to the Delta variant of the COVID-19 pandemic in the city. Worrying trend, I must tell you. But indeed, the state government and indeed the federal government, in conjunction with the Ministry of Health and the NCDs, are asking and telling people, actually appealing to them now, that hey, we need to go ahead and maintain social distancing and practice personal hygiene, all the things that were left behind earlier on to control the spread of the pandemic. Well, that's the latest at this time here on Breakfast Central, Lisa.
Well, thank you very much, Israel Eferobo, our correspondent, giving us the latest on the COVID-19 updates. Now we were talking about businesses and how African businesses can really not just survive competition, but adapt and evolve in this COVID-19 era. Well,